I'm in Appalachia, not Scandinavia, but I'm standing next to a Kempower EV charging station. There's quite a few of these popping up out here in eastern Tennessee in the mountains. Let's go ahead and get into it. We'll take a look at each one of these stations and see what they have to offer and see how Kempower is starting to spread their wings a little bit and get stations installed. Okay, in this particular case, you can see these are subsidized chargers, specifically by the Tennessee Valley Authority, which is a power generator out here in eastern Tennessee, and the Department of Environment and Conservation for the state of Tennessee. So subsidized in order to encourage the electric vehicle adoption rate to increase. But it's very interesting that we're looking at Kempower stations, because I just came from another station with a similar type of effort associated with something called the 7 states. And those were ChargePoint Express Plus. But here they selected Kempower. And this is not the only location where Kempower is getting installed out here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the station a little bit. Okay, here's one of the chargers. It's a Kempower satellite dispenser, dual handled. And as you can see, it's got the very crisp, clean screen that Kempower is famous for, and the spring-loaded ballasts for the very heavy CCS cables. This particular station is using the back-end provider ZEF Energy, Z-E-F Energy. Not very well known. They're more commonly seen in the Minnesota area of the country, but we are starting to see them quite a bit out here in the Appalachian region of western North Carolina and eastern Tennessee. Let's go ahead and start a charging session. Okay, I always forget to bring a second phone when I make these station visit videos where I need my phone in order to initiate charge. And this does have a pay-per payment terminal, so I could have used a credit card, but I just find I've got some money in my ZEF account, so I decided to just use the ZEF account. Plus, we could see what it looks like there, so I made a quick screen grab of that. As you can see, we're ramping up. It says with 400 volts, what is the maximum throughput? It says 240 kilowatts or 120 kilowatts with 400 volts. That's really nice. I love the way how Kempower does that. So if I've got a 400 volt car, which I do, the maximum throughput at this station is 120 kilowatts, and for 240 for a 800 volt car. The other nice thing is you have the ability to follow on your mobile. So if you scan this QR code, you can see the session occurring. Now I'm going to have to stop the video again because I stupidly didn't bring the second phone, but I'm going to throw that up there in a picture-in-picture just to show you what that looks like. And it's very convenient. The nice thing is it doesn't require an app. All it is statistics being provided through a cloud integration onto a mobile web browser. So no app needed. I really like that. Very smart. And it's the same on all Kempower stations. Also very durable. They're known for durability, obviously, because they're in Scandinavia. They're exposed to a lot of hard weather conditions. In the United States, we're actually in the southern United States where heat is a bit more of an issue. So these are, I believe, liquid-cooled cables. I'll check in a second in order to offset that. I've seen stations going to Scandinavia that are not liquid-cooled. They're ambient-cooled cables, but they're in the cooler weather. You can get away with that. But here in the southern United States, you can't. So let's go ahead and walk around the station a little bit and see how this station design is. We're at a grocery store, and we'll tell you what, let's go ahead and crack out the drone and walk around a little bit. Okay, so I was actually wrong. This is part of the 7-state network, the same that was at the other station that I visited, which was a truck stop. So the Tennessee Valley Authority apparently participates in that 7-state alliance. And as you can see, we are at a grocery store, and you can see the Great Smoky Mountains National Park is in the distance. We are right near the border of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Let's walk around the site a little bit. I suppose it's nice that we're in the back of the lot because of the potential for icing on a busy weekend at a grocery store, but it is a long walk to the facilities. There is a gas area over here, but there's no convenience store attached. It's just an attendant in order to take payment. There is a KFC. And let me show you the sign. Right here it says 7 states. And that's the same consortium that was doing the other station. Okay, so we have one dual handled. We've got two dual handled, both CCS. We got a Chevrolet Bolt charging there. We'll take a look at the transformer in just a second. And a third dual handle, but one CHAdeMO. So pretty common subsidized station layout, no pull through. We've got a 1000 kVA transformer. And so let's see, 6 stalls offering 240 at 800, 240 times 6 would be, yeah, 1000 kVA is about right. Obviously the CHAdeMO handle can't go up to 800 volt, but even still. And here's the power cabinet on a pad mount. All very well designed, but this is not it. There's actually more of these stations spread throughout the Appalachian region of eastern Tennessee. Let's go take a look at some more. The next one we're going to visit is right in downtown Knoxville, Tennessee. Okay, same setup here. It's the same group of Zeph Energy and the 7-State Alliance. Let's go ahead and get connected. Boom. I'm thinking it's going to work. Sure enough. All right, let's take a look at this place. This place is wickedly cool. We are right downtown Knoxville. Okay, let's go ahead and walk around the site. First, starting over at the power electronics and the charging cabinet. Because it's a downtown area, obviously it's a congested urbanized environment, so there's not as much space at the last place. Last place was a grocery store. We've got 2 power cabinets, and it's a similar layout as far as number of stalls as the last location. At the last location, they had these 2 kind of combined into one cabinet. And as you can see here, it is 7 states power cooperation. And it's the same Tennessee Valley Authority and Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. Here's the CHAdeMO handle. And one thing I noted about the last station as I was driving away, there's only 1 stall for the CHAdeMO handle. And the CHAdeMO handle is also located in the handicapped accessible location. So a little bit strange, and luckily the cable reached, but some EV owners I think are going to have to back in depending on where their charge port door is. There's good signage. And as I mentioned, this is a beautiful location right downtown. You can see the buildings from here. Dual handle satellites with the ballast, spring-loaded ballast in order to offset the heavy cables. These are only maximum, wow, this is strange. It says maximum 100 kilowatts for 800 volts. And if you're 400 volts, you could do 120 kilowatts. I don't really understand how the math on that works. I don't know if that's a typo or if there's something with the power electronics that prevent an 800 volt car from getting 120. That's kind of strange. But as you can see, we've got islands. So these are kind of forcing you to pull nose in and assuming that the cable length is going to be sufficient. But once again, just a beautiful location. So they're not just going out into the remote areas of Appalachia. Knoxville is generally known as the capital of the Blue Ridge. Asheville, North Carolina sometimes has that claim to fame as well. But this is an Uber driver getting ready to fill up and do some morning routes on a Saturday. So I've seen PlugShare check-ins at this location, and it does seem to be very appreciated by the EV community in this neck of the woods. But who wouldn't like it? I mean, highly dependable, relatively well priced. What is the price again? Let me look. All right, so they charged me $204. It is 40 cents per kilowatt hour at this location. I think it was 42 cents per kilowatt hour at the last station, but still reasonably priced. And well-designed station with very dependable hardware and payment terminals should you wish to use a credit card instead of an app. I use the Zep Energy app. I just kind of like the way that app works. But there's also the main bridge that crosses the river into downtown Knoxville is just right over there. The convention center is a short walk away, and all the downtown buildings are right within walking distance as well. So this is a beautiful location. Kempower has definitely got this one as one of their signature locations. Definitely a feather in the cap of their initial North American portfolio. But wait, there's more, because not only this station and the one previous, there's a third station just a little bit down south of here on the way towards Atlanta. So let's go check out that one. That one actually does have pull-through stalls. A little bit different design. All right, this is station number 3, and now we're talking. We got some additional things that were missing from the other one, specifically the garbage cans. I didn't really call it out because I'm not here to do a station review, but there were no garbage cans at the other 2 stations. Here there are. Not only are there garbage cans, there's recycle, trash, and compost. So I guess if you could cut your grass and you've got your grass clippings in the back of your car, you can leave them here. Or obviously it's for like fruit peels. Like if you ate a banana, you could put your banana peel in there or something. But I think that's kind of cute. This is also got a CHAdeMO, and on the screens it displays 240 at 800 volt or 120 at 400 volt, and the CHAdeMO handle is 50 kilowatts. We also have a pet station over there, and I think I'm going to walk you guys around handheld instead of using the drone. I will get some drone shots, but you'll see we've got pull-through immediately adjacent to a Chick-fil-A, and also immediately off the interstate. Interstate 75 is right there. We are right at exit number 1 in Tennessee, Interstate 75. Okay, going handheld, we got the same Kempower satellite units, and as you can see, the CHAdeMO is listed as 50. We got 240 at 800, 120 at 400, and the 2 handles there. So a total of 4 stalls. The pet station over here, we're talking EV accessible, which is the station that I'm currently in. And I'm not sure how that classifies as EV accessible versus the other ones. It's kind of escaping me there. Pet station, as I mentioned, the 3 trash cans, the second satellite station, Zep Energy, usual suspects now that we've become familiar with them, Tennessee Valley Authority and the 7-State Alliance. Over here we've got 2 handles, 240, 120, 240, 120. And at the last station I mentioned that the 800 was at 100. And I think the reason being is because it was in use on the other handle. And so the power modules had scaled down, because I was noticing while I was charging after I stopped recording the video, I glanced over and it was up to 200. So that was a temporary downgrade as a result of power splitting. But very nice pull-through stalls and a adjacent Chick-fil-A, but there's more than just the Chick-fil-A. That actually expands back into what I would call fast food row. I see a Starbucks through the windows of the Chick-fil-A, so that's within walking distance. And over here we've got Wendy's, and there's a Circle K right across the street. I don't know if I'd be brave enough to walk over there, but there is the Shell convenience store on this side of the street. So some amenities. I guess you could walk your pet, but there is no restroom facilities, at least supplied by the charging company. You have to use the adjacent facilities in order to use restrooms. Not bad though. And when this station was getting built, I was kind of watching it happen on PlugShare. This series of distribution pieces of equipment was catching everyone's eyes. So it's a substation, I think probably one of the anchor ones in this area, and we're immediately adjacent to it. I don't think it was chosen because of that. I think it was chosen because the land was owned by the Tennessee Valley Authority, and they were able to donate it, and it's in such a good location right off the interstate. And so it made a terrific location for a charging station. I'm going to cut in some video that I shot yesterday as I was passing through Durham. I went to the Kempower headquarters and just quickly shot a few thoughts while I was there on their property. Let's go there. And just to put it in perspective, these are the Kempower North American offices where the units are assembled from Scandinavia and then shipped off to the locations to be installed. It's not too far from where we were. Probably, it's a straight shot down Interstate 40, and then you had to crisscross over to the individual stations. Probably, I don't know, about 200 miles, something like that. So maybe the reason they have such a heavy presence in Appalachia is because it's close to their North American offices, and their sales team was able to make connections early on and then spread out from there. Here at this location, they have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 satellite stations. One of the satellite stations has 2 cables, a NACS and a CCS. They call that the satellite flex. We could go over and take a look at that in just a second. But the presence in North America seems to be growing, and the stations are very solid and reliable. So all good here at Kempower, and very excited to have them part of the whole EV revolution party. Thanks for watching.